So there is tons of movie franchises. Some are better than others. So today I'm going to put them all on a tier list, or at least most of them, most of the most popular ones. We have MCU, Planet of the Apes, James Bond. We have all the classics. Starting off with Avatar. This is probably like the newest one on here. We're literally getting a new one this year. This one is mid. Undoubtedly mid. It is just CGI spectacle. Okay, so like you go to see it in theater, it's cool because when you go in and see it, big CGI spectacle, it looks beautiful on the screen. Beyond that, it doesn't have anything to offer. The first one doesn't, the second one doesn't, third one probably won't either. I don't know, because, I mean, the Minion, this one right here, is going to end up going in D tier, so I don't really know if the Avatar franchise isn't that bad. Because at least it has something to offer with its CGI spectacle and James Cameron. It's amazing. Alright. Okay, I need to figure out what this is meaning right here. So, this could mean two things right here, where it says Avengers, the one my cursor's on. That either means it's including just the Avengers films, or the greater MCU, because you also have the Spider-Man films right here. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna put it as Avengers. The Avengers movies have a very good track record. You have Avengers, the Avengers 2012. I think it's pretty overrated. It's like the most overrated MCU film, in my opinion. Age of Ultron, one of the most underrated MCU films, in my opinion. Infinity War, one of the best ones. And then Endgame, obviously, amazing. Right? Infinity War and Endgame are amazing. Most favorite MCU movie is Infinity War, just because of how great it is. For me, I'm going to put the Avengers movies in S tier. They have a great track record. We're going to see what happens with Avengers Doomsday next year, but yeah. Okay, this is the... wait, what franchise is that? Can't tell. I'm just gonna guess that's the Exorcist. I mean, okay. It's the most formulaic franchise ever. Like, okay. The original, okay. This, concept has been done to death so much that, it has no reason to exist. It has been done so much, and these movies are still coming out. And they continue to bomb. But they're still being made. They insist upon themselves. It's the same exact plot. It's so formulaic. It's horrible. It's D tier. Okay. The DCEU. A lot of people have problems with this because it was just a huge train wreck. Because it started off pretty strong. But then they just tried to replicate something that just can't be replicated, which was the MCU. Even the MCU is trying to recreate what they did to make success. So, the DCEU ended. Kind of with a whimper. I mean, I really liked The Flash, honestly. It's, one of my most favorite DC films, but it's a past legend. It fell off, all the movies were bombing. I mean, it just wasn't good. It was just a bad situation, and past legend, because it had some good ones early on, but it just kind of fell off. The Minions have absolutely nothing to offer. Okay. So the first one was an original story. It was pretty interesting, right? Going on from there, it was trash. Straight up, just animated noise. I mean, it's not that deep. That's really just all it is. Live action remakes, they have literally nothing to offer. Live action remakes are literally just made because the studio wants more money, but they also want to go with an original IP. They also just don't want to go with an original IP, but they still want money so basically what they were thinking with this whole concept, what Disney was thinking was, okay, hey, let's recreate some of our older IP, get some of the nostalgia from that, and we're making more money. It's not like we're making a new IP that we have to take a chance on. It's not like we're doing a sequel or a legacy sequel or whatever. just a live-action remake of the original story, bringing back that nostalgia. I mean, they're just so, like, soulless. It's trash. It's the worst on here, so it's gonna be right here. Wait, okay, so the way I think this works is the closer it is to, like, to the letter, the worse it is. So I guess it would be like this. Yep, alright. Okay, the Fast and the Furious. Again, another C tier franchise. These movies are so dumb. I mean, there's so many laugh out loud moments that are meant to be taken seriously. It's so stupid, but it's also so much fun to just watch. And, like, yeah, I mean, it's super dumb, but it's fun. The Harry Potter movies, I freaking used to love these to death. But it's kind of worn off for me a little bit. The movies are still good. The movies are still good. They're classics. They're very popular. Like, we have not gotten another. These are like the definitive Harry Potter movie. The definitive we're probably never gonna get another on-screen Harry Potter to this scale. We're probably never gonna get another book adaptation to this scale, because think about it. Okay, yes, you have gotten other book adaptations. There's one right down here with Hunger Games. But Harry Potter did it first. Straight up, Harry Potter did it first. Because they started off, 1999? And that's when they started making the Harry Potter movies, right? So then, Hunger Games comes around, and it's like, oh, let's make our books into movies. Try to recreate success, and it did. And then you have things like Ender Game, who didn't really do that. Tried to launch it, but just didn't work. So, there's a B tier. I mean, it's good. It's good. I like the movies. I just don't want to put it in Legend, just because, I mean, there's just something about it. Actually, I'm gonna put it right here. I'll put it in Legend, just because of, what it did, how great that was at the time. And it still is pretty great. It's a good set of films. That was bad voice crack. Okay. Hunger Games! They're very entertaining. The games are fun. I freaking hated the third and the fourth one, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. I hate those movies on, such a large scale. I freaking, they make me mad. So I think the logic in those is so stupid. Because we're here to watch the Hunger Games. And again, it's just, they're trying to take down the games, whatever, I don't care. They do it so stupidly. I mean, it is actually so dumb. I thought the first one was good. Second one was not as good as the first one, but still pretty good. Then you have the freaking Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. Freaking ruined it for me, bro. It's a B tier franchise. Not bad. Not gonna put it into Legend, past or present. Okay. This is probably be the hottest take on the list, Indiana Jones. Because, okay. So, okay, I love Indiana Jones. I have, 2 posters right there, and right there. Freaking love Indiana Jones. I have a hat. I have a freaking Indiana Jones story hanging somewhere back there. Freaking love this franchise. I thought all 5 are really good. First one's a classic, my most favorite movie of all time. Second one, I mean, Short Round's good. He Kwan's amazing. Then again, there's just things I just didn't really care for this film. Third one, that was amazing. Fourth one, amazing. Fifth one, a great finale to the character, amazing. I think it's still a current legend, and I'm going to put it at the very front of this. Just because, I mean, it's Indiana Jones, dude. It's just such a great franchise. Okay, James Bond. Alright, so now I feel like this one's going to change because I'm doing this video as Amazon is acquiring, the James Bond IP, which is making a lot of people nervous. oh, Amazon's gonna ruin it, or whatever, whatever. Okay. To be fair, this franchise has had a lot of ups and downs. Not every Bond, every Bond has their moments. The franchise has its moments, but there's just a lot of movies that aren't as good. James Bond: The 21st Century got reinvented with Daniel Craig in a way that really worked. But seeing what they're going to do with it now, I don't know. I might have to put it in past legend status. It really depends on what they do with it in their next film. Because I think the ones we've gotten in the 21st century have been good. I think most of the ones we've gotten, most James Bond films are pretty good. Most of them have good things about them. Not all of them are great, but they're good, you know? It's more like a past legend. I just want to see what happens. Who knows? Okay, actually, it's not fair that we haven't gotten one in a while, so I'm just gonna put one up here. Legend. Because, yes, there is a lot of downs with the franchise, but it's just such a classic. It's, so good to be, it's the perfect franchise to be reinvented. Because Daniel Craig's Bond proved that the character can be reinvented and it can still work. So it's still legendary status. If it continues to be reinvented, if it continues to work, then I think it's good. Alright, John Wick. So now I'm going to include this as just the entire universe because we're getting the John Wick spin-off, The Ballerina, coming later this year, and it looks really good. The 4 John Wick films are just amazing action movies. It's legend. It's a legend. Gonna put it in front of James Bond. It's a legend. Keanu Reeves is great. The action's amazing. All around, it's a great franchise. Okay, Jurassic Park. This franchise had such a historic fall off. It's crazy. Okay, you had the first Jurassic Park. Iconic, everybody loves it. So many iconic scenes, whatever. Second one and third one, and I don't even know if there was a fourth one. I don't know. I've completely forgotten. Not very good. Jurassic World was mid at best. Especially Dominion. Dominion sucked so hard. It just fell off. I mean, who knows? I might be eating my words when Jurassic World Rebirth comes out, which I will be there to see, because I'm actually I'm kind of hyped for it because they're going to be changing up the franchise a little bit from what they've been doing. It's going to be kind of interesting. Kind of a new take. So, I mean, it's a past legend. But who knows, it might go back into that legendary status with Rebirth, depending on how it goes. It's just with the Jurassic World films, with Dominion, it just hasn't worked as of late. Lord of the Rings. Okay, so we got a new Lord of the Rings film last year. War of the Rohirrim or whatever. It was like an anime style film. I have not seen it. Honestly, I don't think anybody has really seen it. This movie, it flew under the radar so hard, but the reasons for it being made was pure greed from the studio. Literally, that's the whole reason it was made. Because they have something in their contract where if they do not make a Lord of the Rings film every, so many years, then they lose the IP. Lord of the Rings is a pretty valuable IP. People still are huge fans of the IP. People are still buying merchandise. People are still watching the films on streaming services. And people are still buying the physical media. They didn't want to lose that IP, so they made another film. That made, $10 million on, a $100 million budget. But we cannot forget how good those Lord of the Rings films were. So, I mean, I don't want to put it in past legend. But I also don't want to put it in legend just because War of the Rohirrim was so unbelievably mid. So I'm gonna put it at the very end. Okay, I'm gonna put it ahead. It's a legend. It's just the franchise is very lost because there's nothing else you can really do with the IP. So like the franchise is kind of lost right now. I feel like if they make another film that's as bad as War of the Rohirrim, I think okay. So it's starting to fall definitely into that past legend status, especially with War of the Rohirrim bombing really hard. But as of right now, I'm still gonna put it at the very edge of legend, falling into past legend. Like it was legendary at one point, it's not as much now. Mission Impossible. Okay. Tom Cruise is on another level. He is still, like, I don't even know, like in his 60s, 50s, whatever. Still doing crazy stunts. Literally this year, we're getting a new one where he's freaking hanging on the side of a plane, where he's, like, where he's going underwater into, like, this submarine. Like, I mean, this is one of the greatest action franchises of all time. It's still a legend. They're still pumping out bangers. 2023, we got the final reckoning part 1, whatever. So it's a legend, no doubt. More of a legend than James Bond and Lord of the Rings. Planet of the Apes. Okay, so we got a new Planet of the Apes film last year, and it still definitely proved that this franchise still has it. Because, like, I mean, there's still so much to do with the IP. Last year proved it when we got a new film, and I'm so hyped for what they're gonna do with this franchise. I loved the original films, just did not like the one with Mark Wahlberg in it. But other than that, pretty good. They were able to reinvent the franchise with that reboot that worked well. It's still a legend. Okay, Madam what? Okay, oh no. Alright. The Sony Spider-Man-less universe. That's what I'm choosing to call it. Bottom of the barrel. Actually, trash. I don't want to put it... Like, okay, so I think it's definitely worse than the Exorcist films. I think that the Minions films, the Despicable Me films, are definitely worse than the Sony Spider-Man-less universe. Live-action remakes are just worst of the worst. So, okay, Sony Spider-Man-less universe is like, it just doesn't work as a concept. Doing a movie where, yes, you have the villains, and then you make them anti-heroes. You take Spider-Man villains that only work because they're going up against Spider-Man. They're going up against a foe. Or they're like the antagonist to the protagonist. That's the only scenario that where they work. They were written to be from that perspective. But when Sony's in a position where they can't do that, they're forced to push out films like Madam Web, like Morbius, like Kraven the Hunter, that tries to make a antagonist character an anti-hero. And that doesn't work. Sony needs to learn, dude. Alright, the Sony... Okay, this is just all-encompassing Spider-Man films. So you have the Spider-Verse films, you have Tobey Maguire films, you have Andrew Garfield, you have Tom Holland, you have all those. Just a great... It's a great bunch of films. Tobey Maguire's films were amazing. Andrew Garfield's films, I'm not a huge fan of. I think they're not that good. Tom Holland's film, I freaking love. And then we're getting a new Spider-Man film, like, literally next year, I think, or the year after that. Great bunch of films. Great bunch of films. Okay. So then we have the Star Trek movies. I'm gonna put these in C tier. They're just so inconsistent at this point. Like, where else would I put? Like, it is the most inconsistent franchise of all time. I just kind of feel like I have to put that there. Okay, Star Wars. I'm gonna save that for last. Transformers, another C tier franchise. I'm gonna put that at the very front of C tier. They're just big CGI action spectacles, big explosions. Michael Bay freaking ruined the reputation of the Transformers. That's why he's probably the reason that Transformers 1 bombed, because everybody had this like kind of like thing built up in their minds, like Transformers films are ass. Dang. It's not good. It's not good. X-Men. All right. X-Men is making a comeback, no doubt. there's rumors that we're getting a mutant saga after this multiverse saga. I really liked what they did. Honestly, like we got Deadpool and Wolverine kind of bringing back in the mutants. You have Deadpool, all that, and Wolverine. I think there's still a lot more room to them to course correct what they did wrong with 20th Century Fox, and for them to restart. Because we got so many good X-Men films. We got Days of Future Past. We got X-Men. We got X2. X3 was okay. I mean, I'm gonna put it in B tier. I just want to wait to see what happens, see how they handle the mutants, and then go from there. Don't want to put it in current Legend status. Don't want to put it in past Legend either. They're just kind of in that middle phase where, like, what's going to happen, you know? Alright. Star Wars is probably going to be the most interesting one on this list because, I mean, it's still going. But we also have not gotten a Star Wars film since 2018. We're supposed to be getting one next year, allegedly. Mandalorian and Grogu. A lot of people do not like this franchise. So, okay, I definitely think this is it's a really good franchise. I actually like a lot of the more recent. I like the sequels, I like the prequels, I like the original trilogy. I grew up with the sequel films, going to see them, opening night with my dad. It's great memories, and that's never going to change. My love for those movies isn't going to change. That's the era of Star Wars I grew up with. I also grew up with the big DVD giant thing of all the prequel and original trilogy films. And now we're getting the Star Wars shows. So, like, and those are not great, but they are still good. You have the Kenobi, which was really good. You had Acolyte, which was really good. It's gonna go into past Legend. It's almost at Legend, but it's kind of leaning into that. It's on the edge of past Legend, leaning into Legend. If that makes sense. So we're just gonna put those. And we're gonna still put it up here actually. Kind of leaning into that past Legend status. Depending on what happens in the next coming years, who knows. Okay, so that basically covers my tier list of not every single, but some of the top movie franchises. If you guys enjoyed this video or need other content, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Alright. That was fun.